Have you ever felt like you need to work out harder as you age to stay healthy? What if I told you that less could be more? In this video, we're going to explore 6 simple yet powerful habits that can help you stay active, feel energized, and maintain your health without pushing yourself too hard. Whether you're over 70 or just looking for a more balanced approach to fitness, these stories and tips are for you. Make sure to watch until the end, as we'll share inspiring real-life examples and easy-to-incorporate activities that could transform how you approach staying healthy as you age. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Story 1. Grandma Ruth's daily walks. When we think about staying active, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need to push ourselves with intense exercise routines, especially as we grow older. The prevailing wisdom often suggests that to stay fit and healthy, we must challenge our bodies with vigorous workouts and high-intensity training. However, for many people over 70, this approach can do more harm than good. The truth is that moderation and gentleness can sometimes be more beneficial, and one of the simplest yet most effective forms of exercise for seniors is walking. Take Grandma Ruth, for example. At 72, Ruth was determined to stay active and keep up with her younger friends. She was energetic and social, and wanted to feel vibrant in her golden years. Inspired by the energy of those around her, she decided to start jogging every morning. She believed that by pushing herself to jog, she would not only stay fit but also match the physical stamina of her friends. At first, the idea of jogging seemed exhilarating, a way to boost her strength and confidence. But it didn't take long before Ruth began to experience signs of strain. The first issue was joint pain, particularly in her knees and hips. As she pushed herself to keep up with the pace, she started to feel an overwhelming sense of fatigue. Rather than feeling invigorated and energized, she felt sore and drained, as though the very act of staying active was taking more from her than it was giving. After a few weeks of painful mornings, Grandma Ruth took a step back and reflected on how her body was responding. She realized that trying to jog every day was putting unnecessary stress on her joints and muscles, something her body, at 72, wasn't equipped to handle. Ruth had always been in tune with her body, and it became clear that the high-impact activity of jogging was doing more harm than good. She made the decision to change her approach and embrace a gentler form of exercise. Instead of pushing herself to run, Ruth decided to switch to walking at a slower, more comfortable pace. At first, this felt like a significant step down. She felt as though she was letting go of the ambition to stay as active as her younger friends. Walking didn't have the same intensity, and it initially felt like a retreat. But after a short time, Ruth noticed a profound difference. Her energy levels began to improve, and most notably, the joint pain that had plagued her for weeks started to fade away. Her body was no longer protesting the effort, and Ruth found that walking, though less intense, was far more sustainable. As she continued her daily walks, Ruth began to realize that the slower pace was far more suited to her body's needs. Rather than feeling exhausted by her workouts, she started feeling energized. Her joints no longer ached, and her muscles became stronger without the risk of overexertion. Even her mood improved, and she felt more centered throughout the day. What began as a reluctant switch from jogging to walking transformed into a daily ritual that brought her both physical and emotional benefits. Ruth's story is a reminder that staying active doesn't mean pushing our bodies to the limit. In fact, for seniors, walking at a comfortable pace, rather than engaging in high-impact exercise like running or jogging, can be an incredibly effective way to maintain mobility, reduce stress, and support heart health. The best part is that walking, unlike intense workouts, is easy on the joints, making it ideal for those over 70. As Ruth learned, the key is not to force your body to match a standard of fitness that may no longer be practical, but rather to find an activity that is enjoyable and beneficial for your specific needs. Walking might seem like a simple, almost mundane activity, but for older adults, it is one of the most powerful ways to stay healthy and active. It's low impact, easy to do, and can be tailored to your fitness level. For Grandma Ruth, her daily walks became a cornerstone of her well-being. A simple practice that kept her heart strong, her joints supple, and her spirit lifted. Most importantly, it reminded her that health and fitness don't have to mean pushing ourselves beyond our limits. Sometimes the gentlest approach is the most sustainable, and that, in turn, can lead to the greatest rewards. Story 2. George's Yoga Transformation. As we age, it's not uncommon to experience stiffness and reduced flexibility, especially if we've been focusing on intense activities like weightlifting or cardio. While strength training is essential for maintaining muscle mass and bone density, it's equally important to incorporate flexibility exercises into your routine. Stretching or yoga can improve mobility, reduce discomfort, and enhance overall movement, allowing us to maintain an active lifestyle without overexerting ourselves. George, a 74-year-old man, had always been passionate about lifting weights. For years, his gym sessions had been focused on building strength, and he took great pride in his physical power. He loved the feeling of accomplishment after every heavy lift and the sense of empowerment that came with challenging his muscles. But over time, something started to change. His once fluid movements became more rigid. His shoulders and hips started feeling tighter, and he noticed his lower back aching more frequently. What had once been a routine of strength and agility now seemed to come with more discomfort, especially during everyday tasks like bending down to tie his shoes or reaching for something on a high shelf. Despite his dedication to weightlifting, George began to realize that his body wasn't moving the way it used to. The pain and tightness in his joints were becoming more noticeable, and they were starting to interfere with his quality of life. He was concerned that this stiffness might limit his ability to continue lifting weights and staying active, something he had always valued. After much thought and reflection, George knew it was time for a change that would allow him to continue doing what he loved while taking better care of his body. That's when George decided to explore yoga, something he had never seriously considered before. At first, he was hesitant. He had heard about yoga, of course, but he wasn't sure if it was a suitable fit for someone who had spent decades focusing on strength training. Would yoga be enough to maintain his muscle mass and strength? Could it provide the same results he got from his rigorous weightlifting sessions? However, after some research and encouragement from friends who practiced yoga, George decided to give it a try. He signed up for a beginner yoga class, not knowing exactly what to expect. The first few sessions were challenging in a different way than he was used to. The poses felt unfamiliar, and he was unsure about the slow pace. However, as he continued to attend class, George began to notice something remarkable. The gentle stretches, combined with the deep, mindful breathing, helped him regain mobility in his shoulders, hips, and lower back. The pain in his back slowly began to fade, and the tightness in his muscles started to loosen up. Even better, he began waking up in the mornings feeling more agile, a stark contrast to the stiffness he had been accustomed to. What surprised George the most was how well yoga complemented his weightlifting. Initially, he had worried that yoga might not be enough to keep his strength up, but instead, it enhanced his overall physical fitness. The increased flexibility from yoga allowed him to move more freely and with less tension throughout the day. His posture improved, and he felt more balanced, both mentally and physically. By incorporating yoga into his routine, George was able to lift weights with greater ease and comfort. The stretch and release of tension in his muscles helped him avoid the discomfort that had once plagued him during or after his strength training sessions. In addition to the physical benefits, yoga brought George a deeper sense of awareness to his body. He became more attuned to his posture, breath, and movement patterns, all of which contributed to a more mindful approach to his fitness. Rather than simply pushing his body to its limits, George learned to listen to it, respecting its needs for recovery, relaxation, and flexibility. This holistic approach to fitness allowed him to maintain his strength while also ensuring that his body remained agile and free from chronic pain. Now, a year into his yoga journey, George feels better than ever. He continues to lift weights with the same dedication and enthusiasm, but he also makes sure to prioritize his yoga practice. His routine now includes a balance of both strength and flexibility training, creating a well-rounded fitness regimen that supports his body at every stage of life. George's shoulders and hips are no longer stiff, his lower back pain has significantly reduced, and he feels more energized throughout the day. Most importantly, he can enjoy his workouts and daily activities without the fear of injury or discomfort. George's story is a perfect reminder that fitness isn't just about how much you can lift or how fast you can run. It's about finding balance between strength and flexibility, effort and recovery, movement and rest. As we age, our bodies change, and it's important to adapt our routines to support long-term health and well-being. George's yoga transformation illustrates the power of integrating flexibility training into a strength-based fitness routine. Through this balance, we can continue to thrive, moving well and feeling strong, no matter our age. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Story 3. Elon's gentle strength training. As we age, maintaining muscle mass becomes increasingly crucial for overall health, especially for balance, bone strength, and the prevention of falls. Muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia, is a natural part of aging, but it doesn't have to be inevitable or detrimental. However, the approach to strength training needs to evolve with age. Rather than focusing on lifting heavy weights, which can strain the body and joints, focusing on low-resistance exercises can help preserve muscle tone, enhance flexibility, and maintain functional strength, all while minimizing the risk of injury. Elon, at 78, was once a regular at the gym, lifting heavy weights with the energy and strength of a much younger woman. She had always prided herself on her fitness, finding empowerment in the challenge of pushing her limits with each session. In her younger years, she built muscle and endurance by lifting weights that were progressively heavier, and for a while, she felt strong and invincible. Those days at the gym were more than just workouts. They were moments where Elon could feel her body thriving, her muscles working in unison, and the world outside fading into the background. But over time, her body began to change. The muscles that once recovered swiftly after a session now took longer to heal, and the soreness she experienced after workouts lingered longer than before. The fatigue set in much sooner during exercise, and her joints began to protest with every squat and press. The familiar aches and pains were no longer transient. They became regular companions. Elon realized that the intense workout routine she had followed for years was no longer serving her as it once had. Her joints were growing increasingly stiff, and the strain she had once felt after heavy lifting was evolving into something more persistent. The time had come for a change. This realization led Elon to make a significant adjustment to her fitness routine. Instead of stubbornly clinging to her old habits, she embraced a gentler approach. She began incorporating lighter resistance bands into her routine, finding their versatility and adaptability a perfect fit for her changing needs. Resistance bands provided just enough of a challenge to maintain muscle engagement without putting undue strain on her joints or muscles. These bands allowed her to focus on slow, controlled movements that targeted different muscle groups without overwhelming her body. In addition to the bands, she added more bodyweight exercises to her routine, including squats, lunges, and wall push-ups. These exercises were effective and empowering because they made use of her body weight, which had the added benefit of requiring no external equipment. The results of this shift were nothing short of remarkable. Elon quickly noticed that her muscle tone improved, albeit in a different way than before. Her muscles felt firm and engaged without the stiffness and soreness she had previously experienced. The fatigue that once hit her hard after each workout began to dissipate, and she found herself able to complete her exercises without feeling drained afterward. Her body felt more balanced, and her movements were smoother. The best part? She wasn't dealing with the nagging joint pain that had started to creep into her previous routine. This change, while seemingly subtle, was transformative for Elon. It gave her the strength she needed to maintain her independence and quality of life while providing her body with the necessary rest and recovery it deserved. Elon's story serves as a great reminder that strength training after 70 doesn't have to be about lifting heavier weights or performing intense exercises. It's about focusing on the needs of the body and adapting the routine to match its current capabilities. By focusing on lighter, low-resistance exercises like bodyweight movements and resistance bands, you can still maintain muscle health, prevent muscle loss, and improve mobility. This approach minimizes the risk of injury and allows for faster recovery, enabling you to remain active and engaged in everyday life. Whether it's playing with grandchildren, walking through the park, or simply getting up and down from your favorite chair, keeping the body strong and energized is the key to living a vibrant, fulfilling life, no matter your age. Elon found her balance by making peace with the fact that strength training after 70 can be just as effective when it's gentler on the body, and the rewards are far greater than she ever expected. Story 4. Bill's mindful breathing. As we age, it's natural for our stamina and energy levels to change. Many of us have spent years engaged in physically demanding activities, such as running, weightlifting, or intense cardio workouts. But as our bodies grow older, we may begin to notice that the same activities no longer offer the same results. and our endurance doesn't quite match what it once was. Despite these changes, one powerful, often overlooked tool remains our breath. Deep breathing exercises and meditation can be transformative, providing a boost of energy and mental clarity without the need for strenuous physical exertion. Bill, now 80 years old, had spent much of his life running marathons, a hobby that evolved into a passion and a defining part of his identity. For decades, he took pride in his remarkable endurance, continuously pushing his physical boundaries with long-distance runs. To him, running wasn't just a form of exercise, it was a way to prove to himself that age was no barrier to his capabilities. The satisfaction he felt after crossing the finish line was unrivaled, a powerful affirmation of his commitment to health and fitness. However, as the years passed, Bill began to notice a subtle shift. His once remarkable stamina was starting to decline. The marathons that he had completed with relative ease now left him feeling winded and fatigued, even after months of training. His legs no longer carried him with the same effortless strength, and the recovery time between runs became longer and more frustrating. The joy he had once felt from those long runs started to fade, replaced by a sense of exhaustion that lingered long after the run was over. Rather than continuing to push through the fatigue, stubbornly trying to maintain the pace he had kept in his younger years, Bill made a conscious decision to shift his approach. He realized that perhaps it wasn't about running harder or longer anymore. Instead, he chose to embrace a different practice: mindful breathing. Bill began incorporating deep breathing exercises into his daily routine, starting with simple, intentional breaths, focusing on slow inhales and long exhales. Over time, he added meditation to his practice, allowing his mind to slow down along with his body. At first, the transition was difficult. After decades of intense training and physical exertion, slowing down felt uncomfortable, almost counterintuitive. Bill was accustomed to the rush of endorphins from a good run, not the stillness of focused breathing. But soon enough, Bill noticed something remarkable. The mindful breathing exercises began to calm his restless mind and soothe his overworked muscles. He felt more centered, more grounded. Even on days when his body wasn't able to keep up with the intensity of his old running routines, Bill found that focusing on his breath brought him a sense of peace and rejuvenation. Breathing deeply wasn't just about calming his nerves, it gave him back a sense of energy. It was as if each breath had the power to recharge his body from within, providing him with the stamina to stay active in a more sustainable way. He no longer felt the need to chase after the long runs of his past. Instead, he embraced a new rhythm that nurtured his body and mind. The clarity he gained from meditation allowed him to feel more present in the moment, reducing stress and fostering a mental clarity that he hadn't experienced in years. Bill's experience with mindful breathing became a powerful reminder that we don't always have to rely on strenuous physical activities to feel energized or rejuvenated. By simply connecting with our breath and incorporating mindful practices like meditation, we can tap into a source of energy and focus that doesn't demand constant physical exertion. Deep breathing not only reduces stress but also promotes a sense of well-being, enabling us to move through life with more clarity and purpose. These practices have proven to be effective at any age, helping people regain balance and vitality in their lives. Bill's journey highlights that staying energized and engaged isn't just about how much we can do physically. It's about understanding that there are other ways to nourish our bodies and minds. In Bill's case, mindful breathing has become his new way of running, not in distance, but in inner peace, clarity, and a renewed sense of energy. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Story 5. Margaret's gardening habit. As we grow older, it's often the simplest activities that yield the most significant benefits. Daily light activities, such as gardening or even household chores, not only help keep us moving but also offer emotional and mental rewards. These everyday routines can be powerful in maintaining both physical health and a sense of purpose. For many older adults, engaging in light, manageable activities becomes an important way to stay active, enjoy life, and experience the satisfaction of accomplishing something meaningful, all while preserving energy and avoiding overexertion. Margaret, at the age of 76, had always found solace in her garden. For decades, she tended to it with love and care, finding joy in every bloom and every new sprout. The garden was her retreat, a space where she could connect with nature and reflect in quiet solitude. However, as the years went by, Margaret began to notice that some of the more strenuous tasks, like heavy lifting or digging, left her feeling sore and fatigued. Her doctor, understanding her passion, gently advised her to take it easy and avoid anything that might strain her body. At first, Margaret was a bit disheartened. She couldn't imagine her life without her beloved garden, and the thought of stepping away from it was unthinkable. She wondered how she could continue her hobby without pushing herself too hard. But Margaret wasn't one to easily give up on something she loved, so she decided to adopt rather than abandon her passion. She reimagined her gardening routine, choosing lighter, less demanding tasks. She began spending time in the garden each morning, slowly and deliberately. Instead of lifting heavy bags of soil or trimming bushes with powerful shears, she focused on tasks that were gentle on her body, pulling weeds, planting flowers, and trimming the edges of her bushes at a relaxed pace. Each movement, though mild, kept her engaged and active. She found joy in the repetition of small tasks that allowed her to maintain a rhythm while giving her body a chance to rest. What Margaret discovered, much to her delight, was that gardening offered more than just physical exercise. The process of nurturing her plants and watching them grow brought an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. The act of planting seeds and tending to them as they grew into beautiful flowers or lush shrubs gave her a renewed sense of purpose. Gardening became more than just a pastime. It became a daily ritual that fed her spirit and kept her grounded. Beyond the physical benefits, Margaret found that spending time in her garden brought a deep sense of peace. The fresh air, the gentle sounds of nature, and the simple beauty of her plants all worked together to soothe her mind and uplift her heart. She felt a connection to the earth that was both calming and invigorating. The daily routine of nurturing her garden not only kept her physically active and flexible but also provided her with a sense of joy and accomplishment that enriched her overall well-being. Her garden became a place of personal reflection, a quiet retreat where she could process her thoughts and enjoy a sense of connection to something greater than herself. Whether it was the early morning light streaming through the leaves or the vibrant colors of her flowers in bloom, Margaret found that her garden was a constant source of inspiration and contentment. The small, simple tasks she did each day, watering, weeding, and trimming, provided a sense of balance in her life. Margaret's story is a perfect illustration of how light, everyday activities like gardening can have profound benefits, especially for older adults. As we age, we don't always need to commit to intense or high-impact workouts to stay healthy. Sometimes it's the small, gentle routines that help us stay physically active, emotionally fulfilled, and spiritually nourished. Margaret proved that by adapting her approach to gardening, she was able to continue enjoying her favorite hobby while maintaining her health and happiness. The simple act of caring for her plants, one day at a time, allowed her to remain connected to life, nature, and her sense of purpose. In the end, Margaret's story serves as a reminder that staying active and engaged in life doesn't require grand gestures or exhausting efforts. Sometimes, the simplest activities, like tending to a garden or tidying up around the house, can provide all the physical and emotional benefits we need to lead a fulfilling, joyful life. Story 6. Arthur's social engagement. As we age, staying mentally and socially engaged becomes just as crucial for our long-term health as maintaining physical activity. Engaging with others, learning new things, and nurturing strong social connections can contribute to a sense of purpose, sharpness of mind, and emotional well-being, sometimes offering benefits that physical exercise alone cannot. Arthur's journey serves as a powerful reminder of the profound impact that social interactions and intellectual engagement can have on our lives, especially in later years. At 82, Arthur is a vibrant and active member of his community. Though he has always recognized the importance of physical health, he has discovered that his true fulfillment comes from the richness of his social engagements and the intellectual stimulation they provide. Rather than focusing exclusively on exercise, Arthur found joy and meaning in connecting with others through various activities that nourished his mind and spirit. He has been a regular attendee at a weekly book club, where he and a close-knit group of friends engage in passionate discussions about literature. These meetings have become a highlight of his week, not only providing a platform for sharing his thoughts but also offering the opportunity to learn from others with different perspectives. In addition to his literary pursuits, Arthur actively participates in several volunteer groups that support local causes. Whether it's assisting at the food bank, organizing neighborhood events, or providing companionship to those in need, Arthur's commitment to service has allowed him to stay involved in the lives of others, creating a sense of community and belonging. Through these interactions, he has cultivated deep friendships and enriched his own life in ways that extend far beyond physical activity. Arthur has come to recognize that his sense of purpose and emotional fulfillment, derived from these social interactions, has had a remarkable impact on his overall health. He found that staying mentally stimulated through book discussions, learning new ideas, and contributing to local causes kept his mind sharp and his spirits high. What struck Arthur most was the realization that, while physical exercise certainly plays an essential role in maintaining health, it was the connections he fostered with others, combined with his intellectual pursuits, that truly contributed to his happiness and longevity. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. His volunteer work also serves as a reminder of the importance of having a clear sense of purpose. Knowing that his actions were making a positive difference in the lives of others gave Arthur a deep sense of fulfillment and a sense of responsibility to stay active and engaged. This sense of purpose, coupled with the joy he felt from meaningful relationships, kept his emotional and mental health flourishing. Arthur's story reveals the invaluable benefits of social and mental engagement as we grow older. In a world where the emphasis is often placed on physical fitness, it's easy to overlook how much human connection and mental stimulation contribute to our well-being. Arthur's experiences prove that for many, the most significant factors in leading a fulfilling and joyful life are not just physical workouts but the conversations, learning, and relationships that form the foundation of a vibrant social life. By investing time in nurturing these connections, we not only improve our emotional health but also promote long-term physical health and a greater sense of belonging. Arthur is a living testament to the truth that engaging with others, whether through learning, volunteering, or simply connecting on a personal level, can infuse our lives with vitality, joy, and purpose. As we age, prioritizing social and mental engagement alongside physical activity can make a world of difference, ensuring that our later years are not only healthy but also rich in meaningful experiences. Conclusion. As we've explored through these inspiring and heartwarming stories, the key to staying healthy after the age of 70 is not about engaging in intense or strenuous exercise routines. Instead, it's about discovering a harmonious balance that suits your body and mind, focusing on habits that support both physical and mental well-being. You don't need to push yourself to the extreme. Rather, it's about incorporating simple yet effective activities into your daily routine that nurture your overall health. Whether it's enjoying a leisurely walk through the neighborhood, practicing yoga to enhance flexibility and mindfulness, or engaging in strength training exercises that improve muscle mass and bone density, these activities contribute to a vibrant, healthy lifestyle. Mindful breathing exercises can calm the mind, reduce stress, and increase mental clarity, while gardening allows you to connect with nature, stay active, and improve your mood. Additionally, staying socially engaged, whether through regular meetups with friends, joining community groups, or simply keeping in touch with loved ones, plays a crucial role in maintaining emotional well-being and combating loneliness. By embracing these habits, you can not only preserve your health but also enhance your quality of life. Living after 70 with vitality and joy is entirely possible when you prioritize activities that nourish both your body and mind. It's about enjoying each moment and making the most of life's precious opportunities. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these inspiring stories and simple habits have given you some fresh ideas on how to stay healthy, active, and energized as you age. From walking at a comfortable pace to incorporating yoga, strength training, and mindful breathing, there's so much you can do to maintain your well-being without overexerting yourself. So, what have you learned from today's video? Is there a specific habit or activity that you found particularly helpful and that you're excited to bring into your routine? I'd love to hear what stood out to you the most. Please take a moment to share one thing you've learned and plan to practice in your life in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave your comment, give it a thumbs up, and share it with others who might benefit from these tips. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this, so you never miss an update. Your support means so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.